And we back with another episode of Fans, Facts, and Feelings. I'm your host, Satch Mo,
Yes, sir.
along with my boy B Wright.
What's
What's
happening?
happening, man?
What's happening, my peoples?
Yeah. So we just had the draft. I know everything is pretty fresh. Feelings are fresh. We want to go ahead and tap into that right away. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what's right. Tell me what's wrong. How you feeling, B Wright?
Brody. You know how we do. We straight on facts right now. I'm gonna give props and love to the organizations that just went on and made the fans feel great, made the fans feel like they making great moves. It's so cliche to say that Ozzie Newsome's just gonna show up on draft day and make like dynamite moves. The Baltimore Ravens draft better than probably in the last 10, 15 years, man. To get a safety, Markel Starks, first pick, and to get the NCAA leader in sacks in the green kid from Marshall later on down the line as he slid, man. I just got to give it to Baltimore, bro. What you think?
Yeah, man. I feel like they take what comes to them. Gotta give it to them, man. It's been timely. It's worked out for them. Kudos to them. It's a well run organization. They're always a tough out. Yeah, I got hats off to them. They did what they needed to do. I don't know why Green fell, why he slid like that, but he took a slide. I mean, if it wasn't for other people sliding, that he might have been the top.
Well, bro, he slid because one of my weaknesses is due to a team that should have and I thought would have picked them. But to stay on the positive note on some of those teams that capitalized, putting that scout cap, that GM cap on, I love to say that particularly teams that address things that stayed in the realm and just did what they needed to do as far as advancing and getting better. Is I like what the Atlanta Falcons did. Now,
Hmm. Okay.
I understand the notion of giving up a first rounder for a guy like Pierce. But when you get a Hassan Reddick on a year or two deal and an old veteran that has a lot in the gas tank, and you got kids that you can come and bring in behind him that you bringing in as rookies on the rookie contracts. I mean, to me, you can say it's feast or famine. It's one of those things. If he does well, then within the Walker kid, the Pierce kid from the Georgia, both of those guys can be dominant at edge. And so I like just being aggressive. They went and got a safety that was nice, that was high on the board, that slid as well. So I just like Atlanta staying good on that defensive end to back up that quarterback, and you want to be that top dog in that NFC South because Baker, they're loading up and doing well and getting wide receivers, which so you want to
Mhm,
stay on
mhm,
top of that
mhm,
and be
mhm,
well. So I
mhm.
I, I think the gamble was a lot. They gave up a lot. And I was questionable about that, but I like Atlanta being aggressive and getting some of the best defensive ends in the SEC, in this draft and being assertive.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I agree with you. They needed to do something with the defense, and they tried to. And I do think it was a reach, trading that draft pick, first rounder
Yeah,
to get that. But other than pass rush, what was their other area of need?
they 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 needed a lot. They needed wide receiver help,
Stay with the defense. Stay with the defense. What did they need? Corners. How many did they pick up?
like one or two.
Zero.
Zero.
No corners for a team that had 6 interceptions in 17 games, and they picked up zero corners in the draft.
I mean, but do you trust the coach, the defensive coordinator, history of my guy? I mean,
Why didn't they get a cornerback?
that's sketchy. But I like the ends, and again,
Yes. I like the Atlanta Falcons to do what they always do and not really address their needs. And that's what they did once again. That's why they are, in my eyes, a loser in this draft, not a winner.
well,
But a winner that I picked, someone who I feel like is a winner in this draft, which I think you might disagree. So I'm gonna bring them up.
all right.
The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns came in with needs and very complex needs. Because when I say complex needs, it's more than just do we have a guy that fits this position. Also, they have the Myles Garrett ridiculous contract. Also, they have the Deshaun Watson ridiculous contract. And Deshaun Watson can't even play football right now, mind you. They have a lot of needs, and they're going to have a lot of needs over these next few years. And you know what they did? They stockpiled draft picks. They
Yeah.
got depth in the deep draft. They made solid picks in the in the second and third rounds. They picked up. So they ended up trading out Travis Hunter. Hopefully will be a phenomenal player in this league. Hopefully he will be. But the Cleveland Browns need more than one phenomenal player. They need a host of them. This is a team that is in need to basically rebuild with a lot of money on the books.
Yeah.
They traded him. They passed on that to get a guy that they probably feel like is another phenomenal player, and couple that with the ability to do it again next year. They had depth. They started wheeling and dealing before the draft even started. They were trading with my team to make sure that they took some solid players in this draft. No, I know what you're gonna say. Why they got two quarterbacks. So you got Dylan Gabriel. What it is in Cleveland ever.
Yeah.
Tell me a time when the quarterback room has been solid in Cleveland. You can't. You can't.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
then what they did, what did they do? What's a quarterback's best friend? A young quarterback's best friend
Okay.
is a good tight end.
And hold on. They got a good tight end in Fannin, and they got two nice young running backs in Dylan Simpson and Jenkins. Hello. So I wasn't thinking that they did. Honestly, secretly, the Browns did do a great job in the draft. They did. They did. But look. Speaking of doing good within the draft and not reaching to do so, okay, just letting things come to them. Come on, man. Them Eagles. They just sat back and just took everything that came. They didn't. Howie Roseman, he does. So I'm not gonna get too high on my guys, but they shine. They shine.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. They did what they needed to do. With a team without many holes, they made sure that they addressed the things that they needed to address and used the luxury that they had to be able to, kind of sit back and pick and choose, so that was good. My next team is a team that's kind of in the opposite situation, but I still felt like they took what came to them,
Okay.
and that is the New England Patriots.
Yeah, New England did well. They did well.
Great draft. I mean, think about it. They got Will Campbell.
Yeah.
They got Henderson from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Good running back.
Yeah.
They got Kyle Williams, a speedy receiver from Washington State to separate. He was a guy that I was looking at on our radar, like, hey, get him in the third round, you won. Then they turned around also in the third round and got the number one center off the board in Jared Wilson. They ain't done yet. They got a safety, Craig Woodson. He's solid, man. He's solid. And they still were able to, I mean, they even drafted a kicker, bro.
From the U. From that dude would have took anybody's job. Like this year coming in, that he was the best kicker in college. Vrabel up in New England might be a problem. Look, on the positives, on one more good draft, you got to give it to the black GM hiring Ben, and then drafting well, and then going in and letting Ben get the things that's gonna make Ben be Ben. Like, that's tough.
Ryan Poles, yes, got to give it to Ryan Poles. Great picks to fit the system. Great picks to complement Caleb Williams. Even was dealing in free agency to try to do everything he could to put these pieces into place to make sure that Chicago is successful.
Man,
So I
man,
have, yeah, hats off to Ryan
I'm,
Poles.
I'm telling you
Deal it.
because look, because whatever Dunze is, Burden, them two can just fight for second, third position slot. I think Burton's gonna go on the slot, and I like him using him within like a Gibbs, like a gadget kind of guy.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see Luther in the backfield for the Bears.
All right, let's shift gears here, man. Let's talk about the biggest losers.
Easy,
Loser.
easy. Shout out to my New Orleans folk. You did what I'm talking about. Hey, listen, my peoples came in with a new coach and addressing to get a lineman. Okay, that's the Eagles lineman pick. But dude, Olave has no help. You have no quarterback. And Alvin Kamara is the only dynamic thing you have. And you go out and you go get a lineman that you could have waited on.
You talking about Banks?
You go get him.
Banks from H-Town?
And then you go get a 26-year-old quarterback that has been all around college, but it's not like he's lit it up in the second round. So, I mean that, and you still didn't get no like good receivers. So I think number one, they would have brought excitement and some prime time, if you know what I mean, to New Orleans if they would have got another quarterback outside of Shaw. I mean, come on. Look, I wouldn't have been mad if they would have been the people that traded up and got Dart. I could have seen Dart being in New Orleans, being a baby Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? Kellen Moore using him. He can scramble a little bit, but I just don't like the pick for a second round quarterback. You're force feeding a kid that has not proven anything on a college level. The intangibles. You're looking at Brandon Whedon 2.0. Oklahoma State kid, man. So that them right there, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Tell me who tell me who your drop the ball organization was, bro.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, Bungles, Needle.
I already spoke on the Atlanta Falcons, ATL, Hot Atlanta, whatever they want to call it. Now let's talk about Cincinnati Bengals, home of Skyline Chili, and that's what they did. They put together a gross draft, just like the chili.
They put some doo doo on the chili dog.
Dog, this is terrible, bro. So you already in the situation. Remember, during the season, I told you, I said, Cincinnati Bengals are bad because they don't have a good defense. Remember I said that. Remember me saying that?
Yeah.
The beginning, before they even had the little run at the end, I told you, I said the defense. I said just always bet against their defense because they're terrible right now. And I mean, besides, Trey Hendrickson, which is kudos to him for doing what he did with what he had, like that dude there. But now you pissed him off, and so now he wants to trade.
And they told him to go out and look at his trade value, though. I mean, what?
Now you don't have that. So you're like, okay, so we need to get something. So then you get Shamar Stewart. Okay, that's a good pick. He's a good guy. He's a good pickup. Okay. What else did you do? This is a team that never drafts D lineman. They finally drafted a D lineman, and Shamar Stewart. He's good. He's explosive.
But hey, hold on. But he wasn't the top draft. He wasn't the top.
He don't get to the quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like he's the most explosive. You could have went and got the Pierce kid that Atlanta reached for. You could have got.
You at 17. 17.
Bro, they could have got any
quality defensive players came off the board after 17.
How about the kid that we got at 32? The kid from Alabama. Let him be your.
They could have got anything. It didn't matter. They just needed a best defensive player on the board. That's all they needed. It didn't matter. Whoever it was, they would fit.
They had one job. Get the best defensive player, lineman or linebacker, and they didn't do it.
And Demetrius Knight, I mean, no offense to the kid, but at 49, I feel like you could have done better.
I know. So, hey, I'm with you. All right. Oh, okay.
And then they
That
get hold on. Then what about Todd? They got Taj Brooks, which I like him for some people, but why? Why?
okay. All right. So I'm gonna go here, and people gonna say I'm going with the division and I'm being in my feelings, but no, I'm gonna stick with facts.
You gonna say
I'm
the
gonna go with. I was gonna go with the Steelers.
The
I
Steelers?
was gonna go with them. Hold on, I was gonna go with them, but I'm not gonna go with them. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys.
I
I'm going to
thought
go
they
with the
did all
Dallas.
right.
I'm going with the Cowboys because of this reason alone, big
It
guy.
was worse than the Giants.
Huh?
Worse than the Giants.
Who did they get in the draft that can help CeeDee Lamb? I'm waiting. I'm listening.
They guard. They first pick.
A guy that's blocking for a runner and the quarterback. That's
You're not
not what
going to
they got.
quarterback.
Listen, CeeDee Lamb needs another guy or a weapon. They could have went and got the kid from. They could have got the kid from Penn State.
They could have got Golden.
They could have got Golden. They, I mean, dude, come on. Like, no, bro. And and I like the Boston College kid that they got. I did like him, but other than that, I don't like anything the Cowboys did.
He addresses the needs, man. The running back, I like Jaden Blue.
Man,
H-Town stand up.
he won't wow you or play over him. Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders are hungry, bro. He's not playing over them. He's not playing over them. But again, I'm just telling you.
The dude from East Carolina, he's good, man. He's good. They needed a corner. They got a corner. They got a value. That was value at 76 to get that cat. At 76, that was good. Cowboy fans, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's your boy over there. I mean,
I just
I
feel
really
like
didn't think it was that bad, but yeah, you could have got a receiver. Yes, you could have got a receiver, and I was surprised about the not getting a receiver, like not even in later rounds, like
and,
no receiver,
and,
and you got two running backs and no receiver.
and honestly, this TCU guy I don't know a lot about. I'm not gonna lie. But outside of getting Genty, the Raiders did do a lot to satisfy what they needed to do as far as like giving Geno weapons. Genty and then a rookie wide receiver. Like they didn't get anybody dynamic. They didn't do anything. They should have got a backup quarterback. Like they didn't get anybody to make Geno put any pressure on him. I don't know. Like there's a lot of question marks around the league. Why didn't the Broncos draft a running back earlier as well? What was that about?
They made it clear that their intentions were to get the running back, but they
They
ain't
got
say
one
when.
late.
They ain't say when. I mean, I don't know, man. Stay bored. Like my team did all right. They did all right. It was some moments of frustration. It's always going to be a level of frustration when you don't pick in the first round,
Yeah.
um, and you trade back. But I've learned with Nick Casario to trust the process,
Yeah.
and I'm fairly pleased in our haul and what we did. Where there's some guys that were on the board and we had an opportunity to get them, and I was like, we need to get them, and we didn't. Yes, that happened. That happened. I kicked myself a few times. Like, man, we could have. And I wanted to see him on the team. I wanted to see him in the Texans uniform, but I like the guys we got. I see how it's shaping. I feel good. I think going into the draft, people felt like the receiving room, a player like Stephon Diggs, uh, and then we were able to see what was after what else we had on the squad. And while uh, everybody loves Mechie and Xavier, came up big for us, they really just they're good backups. Um, and then while I mean I like the pickup of what's his name? Christian Kirk. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like to pick up a Kirk, but I hope he's able to come back and strong from the collarbone. I mean, most people do, but I mean, I like how we turned what something like what people say is an area of need into an area of strength, just like we did last year.
Yeah,
We did the same thing last year. People worried, so that's what I'm trying to tell people: trust Nick until he give you reason not to.
straight
Now,
up.
when you come to drafting offensive linemen in the first round, I don't trust you, Nick. Yeah, I ain't seen you do it right yet, Nick. You know what I mean? I'm riding with you on everything else though. So
Yeah,
so yeah, he traded out of the first round. Maybe he's like, I don't trust myself for the first round drafting a lineman. I don't know, but he saw the value there, and he saw that there was a lot of value in the second round, and to have the multiple picks in the second round and the third round like we did, and where we had a total of 4 or 5 day 2 picks and hit on them. But let me ask you something, man. Off topic, man. Did you notice how many people in the draft was named Jalen? Jaden. It was just like, I mean, we got 3 Jalen's and a Jaden in our draft alone.
crazy.
So that must have been the name of the year that year or something, man. That's wild. There's so many Jalen's.
Hey, well, listen, one's gonna merge because there's too many of them not for one not to be successful.
We might have a Jalen connection. You know, they might all come up, you know?
Straight up.
Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, man, I'm encouraged. I feel good about my draft as you did yours. Um, we talked about the highs and the lows. I know that you did the segment on Shador. But to
Hey,
me, he I gotta mention him when I talk about biggest losers, man. Because here's the thing: all of this happened, and it didn't have to happen.
right,
Shador Sanders could be loading up to play another year of football.
right,
He took a pay cut to go to the NFL.
yeah,
He chose that.
yeah,
So in my mind, he lost.
yeah,
He was one of the biggest losers. And we can't blame he can't blame nobody but himself. He made the choice to leave. So yeah, Shador, I wish you all the best. I feel like you're gonna have success. I think you were one of the biggest losers in the draft because you could have came out next year and been the number 1 quarterback.
right.
I don't know.
I think we all know that's going to a guy
Manny.
that has that name, and that's what I'm going to piggyback on. If this was a Manning coming out, it's a Sanders, and the
No,
Sanders.
Manning's play till they graduate, brother.
Hold on.
Manning's play till they
Manning's.
graduate. He ain't leaving early.
Well, listen, Manning's are quarterbacks. One, it's a different thing. They're pedigree and quarterbacks. The granddaddy was a quarterback. The daddy was a quarterback. The brother was. Now the son is. So that's different. Shador is a product of an athlete. You understand what I'm saying? Not a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But the pedigree and the arrogance slash swag slash excellence was too much for these NFL organizations to eat, muster, or gamble on alone. And they didn't like the sketchiness per interviews sketch, like leadership. He ain't never earned anything, and just all the question marks about a kid that, I mean, essentially is a product of his prime time. He's been on prime time and gave him the silver plate and the spoon. But as far as his dad and what he said he could go and where he didn't want him to go, I think they rubbed those NFL like wardens. Excuse me, GMs, in a way that where they were dissatisfied with the prime time Sanders brand. So they took a back seat on it respectfully because that's what they can do and it's their league, their money. But I think all that needed a quarterback slash backup took the wrong kid and didn't think about his approach to where he can give you and not like the flash and all that stuff that just comes with just being primetime son. I think a lot of teams dropped the ball on not drafting Shador, bro. That's just my personal
I
opinion.
think a lot of teams never even evaluated him because they didn't think they were going to get an opportunity to pick him.
Fall to fall, right? I agree
So
with you. I agree.
no, so I give that to a lot of teams for as far as that's concerned, because you don't want to
Right.
take a reach and to pick the guy you hadn't even evaluated just because he slid and you feel like, hey, he's a great value here, but you don't really know much about him. But he lost because he took a pay cut to go to the NFL. He
Because
should have stayed all 4 years, just like a Manning, and graduated college and then went to the pros. He lost because he came out early. Should have stayed. Why did he leave? Did he leave because Travis was gone and he was afraid that people were going to see what he was like without Travis Hunter to throw to?
I'll just say this. I would like to Google or chat GBT how many quarterbacks have thrown for 4,000 yards and 35 plus touchdowns that didn't enter their name into the draft. Once we start hitting some numbers and some real live go when I'm high, my value, my stock, what I do, what I'm doing, and
How did it pan out?
hold on, hold on, hold
How did
on,
it pan out? It was
hold
so
on,
high. How
hold
did it
on,
pan out?
hold on. In a weak QB draft, why
How did
wouldn't
it pan out?
how it panned out and what he was projected are two
How did
different
it
things.
come? How did it turn out?
Hey,
Should he have stayed? Tell
no,
me.
no, no. I disagree.
Hindsight. You don't think he should have stayed?
No,
Why
because
not?
because
He
I'm
took
gonna
a
tell
pay
you,
cut.
does Deion Sanders' son? Do you think he's worried about? Are you really thinking money is a
Why
factor?
did he leave? Why did he leave? Why did he leave?
Why wouldn't he? Why would he stay? Why would he stay?
He didn't win a championship. He didn't win a Heisman. What did he do in college? What did he do?
4,000 yards, 35 plus touchdowns.
And we could talk a lot of people that threw 4,000 yards.
Listen. He was projected the second quarterback taken.
But what did he get taken?
It's
What
not
number
well
where did he
again.
end up? Where did he
What
end up? Let's talk about reality. Because this is
re,
fact.
re,
This is
rea-
fact.
reality is?
The fact. What is the facts? When did he get taken?
He got taken 144th.
100. That means 142 people before what they thought he was gonna go. I mean, from where he went to where he thought he was gonna go. Let's be real, man. Let's be real. He should have stayed in college.
It's
Stayed and he end up in a better situation next year. At least the same. I don't think he would have been 145th pick.
well,
If he came out next year. Come
well, how
on.
many? Well, how many teams do you think will be in position for a quarterback next year? It won't be Tennessee.
Every year it's the same amount. Never seen a draft come where you didn't have about a third of the teams that needed a quarterback. It's always.
I mean, well, bro, I feel like the Rams. I feel like the Rams could have took a shot at him with Stafford being,
Rams might have been in the market for him next year.
but they
Just
wouldn't have
saying,
spent.
he didn't need to leave
But they wouldn't
Colorado.
have spent a first rounder on him.
I think he got caught up in the everybody leaving, my brother leaving, my best friend leaving. I'm gonna leave too. Nah, should have stayed.
Well, how about he was the leader and he was leaving from the jump? I don't think he's that kind of kid that's leaving because they leaving. And again,
I don't know.
listen,
I mean,
listen,
we knew they was leaving.
listen. Is he not the most mobile quarterback? Did he get sacked a lot? Like, is he a runner? No. But
No,
when you talk about having some pocket presence and decision making and accuracy, he showed me that. I don't care about none of that about anything else. And he showed me that over quarterbacks that got, huh?
I said too bad you're not a GM
Exactly. Too bad. Too bad.
because he didn't show them apparently. Man, we got to move on. We got to move
We got
on.
to move on.
Let's talk some NBA.
Dun,
Let's
dun,
talk
dun,
some
dun, dun, dun,
NBA.
dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Boom.
Man, hold up. So yeah, man, we make some predictions. The NBA playoffs is off to a great start. Some would say unpredictable. Some would say I call that. But ultimately, it's been fun to watch. It's been
Hey,
fun to watch for
hey,
the most part. I did have my moments. Now, you know, if you're a Rockets fan, ugh. If you're a Lakers fan, ugh. But ultimately, it's been good. It's been good. So let's start off. Let's start off in the East.
hey,
Cleveland taking care of business like I
like
said
we
they
said,
would.
you said shout out to the Heat for making it, and they made it competitive a few games, but they just don't have enough. Just
Not
don't
enough.
have
Not enough.
not enough. It's not enough. Too solid. Fun. Not enough. You dig? They ain't
Okay,
got
okay,
enough.
okay.
They ain't got enough.
Speaking of not enough, I think we found out that the Milwaukee Bucks are not enough without Dame Lillard.
And I think B Wright was on top of that.
You called it. You called that,
Stop,
man.
stop your.
Um,
I said stop your blood clock crying, but it was really about him getting banged up tonight again. He got banged up in the series. He
it was
hurt his ankle. He's done. I mean, probably like
the Achilles. I hope not, but it looked like Achilles.
I hope not.
It looked
But
like.
yeah, man, Pacers, they moving on. They moving forward.
Next up, man, let's talk about this Knicks Pistons series. I told you it was gonna be
You
and it should be knotted up. And officials even admitted that they got it wrong.
the NBA admitted it.
They admitted they got it wrong,
They
man.
did.
They there's got to be something to be done for these cats, man. That's wrong, man. They probably decided the series with one call.
Yeah, man. It was awful,
It's hard
bro.
to come back down 3-1, man. And it should have been two. No, it should have been 2-2.
I saw it live when it took place. I mean, I felt like he got fouled, but at the same time, it was one of them where I guess they just. I mean, first of all, referees don't call fouls in the playoffs in the NBA.
Like that. They do like that. They do a shooting foul in the air, and yeah, they do. They've been calling that, man.
Yeah,
Every game been calling that, man. That was a foul. I don't care who was the official, what time of the game it was, what time of the season it was. That was a foul. Even
should be.
Hart did it. Like he was like, "Yeah, I hit him. Hey, we won. Come on, man."
Hey, bro, it should be 2-2, bro. Easy.
Yep, yep. Should have been. Hate that for him.
Yeah.
In the other East matchup,
Celtics.
Celtics, man. Celtics. They gonna finish it off, but it wasn't as dominant as I anticipated them being.
Well, I mean, that game at home, Magic did what a team that's gonna give it all they can to win that third one, but with JT being kind of showing that he's healthy again. They lost Drew Holiday tonight. I wonder how that's gonna look. But you got a White that can step in, and you got Pritchard that can step in. So I don't have any sorrow, any empathy for the Boston Celtics and the backcourt they have and how deep they are. They
Indeed.
deep. As long as they got Jalen Brown or JT, then I feel like that they the team to beat. And it's gonna be a lot for the Cavs to just go through the Pacers like that. But I really feel like that Knicks Celtics series, like Porzingis might have trouble with Cat. I'm not saying they can beat them, but I'm saying he can go inside outside with Porzingis, but Porzingis can't handle him in the post. So look, if Brunson can stay healthy, that'll be an intriguing matchup. But I just hope I'm not saying the Pistons are out of it because I feel like that they've been playing in every game. They could make it a series if they don't look. If New York don't close the Pistons out this next game, the Pistons will win at home and it will go to 7. That's my prediction on that. That's my feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
New York has a hard time closing people out on their home floor,
Hello,
man.
hello.
So
Hello.
yeah, we'll
So,
see. If
yeah.
that's the case, if the Pistons take them to 7, I feel like the Pistons already won.
Per karma.
Yeah, they should have won.
Per karma, per
Like,
karma.
dang, we got to win 5 games to beat y'all.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
yeah, man, let's move over to the Wild Wild
To the West,
West.
all right. Hey,
Um,
hey, and you see me with Kobe the Killer behind me. I'm a Laker guy, but I'm cheering for the Lakers.
so let's talk about talk about OKC doing what I said they was gonna do. Made short work of the Memphis. Heals up, it's all right, but it didn't matter either way. And like I told you, with or without him, it wasn't gonna be enough. It wasn't gonna be no Jai win a game. No, they don't got enough.
I knew you was gonna do that. I knew. If he did not get banged up, bro, they would have won one with him. I just won. I said they'll win one due to Jai, and they
They
got
didn't
banged
win
up.
none.
They
They
almost beat
didn't
him
win
yesterday.
none. They was playing with their food. What happened that first game when he was healthy?
Second game, they put him under the water. The second game, they drowned him.
Bubbles came up and that was it. He was done, man.
That was it. I mean, we knew that was gonna happen. We knew they gonna beat them. Like that.
No,
That's no.
I knew. You said they was gonna win one, and they did not. They got
But I said they was gonna win the series. There was no. I'm saying part is winning.
Okay.
There was no
We knew
question.
they was gonna lose the series. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Um, and another one that match up that's been great, just like we thought it would be, is the Nuggets Clippers.
Hey,
Back and forth.
hey, for all my movie bluffs, you're good. You're good. You're
It's been
good.
fun to watch, man. It's been fun to
You was
watch.
emphatic about that one, Satch. You lit up about that one, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, like per fight, per like physicality, per like buzzer beaters.
That's all we want.
This is get your popcorn ready type series.
Right.
Like I'm ready when they play. Like I'm ready.
It's gonna be good. That's what you know. Speaking of ready, man, these Rockets better be ready tomorrow, man. Because from what I saw this last game, looked really bad. Now, game 2, which I happened to be in attendance for, it was like, oh yeah, we got this. And I would tell you, you could feel the energy from the beginning, even before Jimmy got hurt. We knew we was gonna win that thing.
Straight up.
Everybody was in there lit, sitting sideways, because it was nice, bruh. It was nice. We was ready. And then we came out, and Jalen looked like game 1 Jalen. He said he had, it was jittery, the lights were bright. I guess you got to do it all over again on the road. The same thing. I don't know. But we gotta come better than that.
Yeah.
But our shooting percentage was poor. Our shot selection was poor.
Right.
It made me feel like we didn't have an offensive game plan at all.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's frustrating, and I hope that we come back like we did game 2.
Yeah.
That's
hey,
it.
man. Hey, I hate to say that I feel like y'all got out coached a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Because for one, it should have been no Jimmy, no problem. In my eyes, it should have been no Jimmy, no problem, and it should have been a lot of doubling of Steph and making everybody else beat you.
I mean, what's some doubling of Steph, and he would kick it out. He found an open shooter, and the shooters made their shots. But
Yeah,
he
but I'm
was
talking
doing
about
what he was supposed to do.
Down the stretch, they let him do too much.
I mean, he gonna get loose a little bit. I mean, that's
Steph.
Scary, bro. And I will say, I'm not the type to try to blame it on the officials, but the officials start calling fouls that they hadn't been calling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a foul now?
Right.
It's not good if that's a foul now.
Right. Yeah. And on the road, you was worried about your Rockets. You said it. And
win in San Francisco. You got to be on your A game and then some.
But they got to win one there now because they lost one at home, so they have to.
Have to. We're done with that. Let's talk about the Lakers, man.
All right.
You mentioned them.
At the end of the day, they lost a game Friday that they should have won, but Luka was sick. 17 points showed it. LeBron had 38 and 10.
He's sick, but he could have had a Jordan flu game. Because you know Jordan really didn't have the flu in the flu game. Did you know that? You know what he had?
Stomach virus. I mean, bruh, here's my thing. I hate to point the finger to JJ Redick. But when you have a team that's led by a guy that is 40 plus years old, but still played well on defense, he still made some steals and some timely blocks. But then you got another superstar that is predicated around just scoring points and not a defensive guy. Why is it that you're playing a total of 34 minutes with these kind of figures in a second half against a young, athletic, longer, bigger, stronger team? So I feel like the wear down and the physicality and the gas of Luka, LeBron, Reeves having to guard Edwards. Rui scored 20. There's no way in the world that Rui is scoring 23 points for you and you're losing. And the reason why is because they didn't trust in Jackson Hayes. They didn't trust in the Godwin kid. They didn't trust in Gabe Vincent. And these guys give you spark, and they've gave you spark all year. Jared Vanderbilt could have been at the top of the key giving Anthony Edwards fits, fouls, but he wouldn't have been up there just scoring 43 points as easy as he was with tired guys that can't guard him even if they're not tired. Austin Reeves can't guard him even if he was rested for 2 weeks. So my point of the matter is, JJ Redick, trust your bench. Why are you going with this shorter lineup and they're throwing Rudy out there. They're throwing like Naz Reid out there. They're throwing like a bunch of Gilchrist Alexander. They're throwing other people, McDaniels, DiVincenzo. We throwing 5, they throwing 7 to 8, man. And so that wore them down. LeBron had 0 points in the fourth quarter.
So you saying they should have been playing Bronny James now? But they
you want me to curse, and I'm
you saying that Bronny and Dalton Connect was the one, they was the difference maker.
Dalton Connect could have popped the 3 or 2. Stop playing. Like, I mean, if you don't want to play him in a playoff series on the road, I get that. But Vincent and Gil, Vanderbilt and Hayes, come on, man.
Hayes started, bro.
But he didn't play in the second half.
He played 4 minutes, bro.
In the whole game?
Yeah, I think he got hurt. I don't know. He only played 4 minutes.
Man, listen. Again, poor time management by the coach is why they lost.
So Finney Smith had 41 minutes. Luka had 46. Rui had 41. LeBron had 46. Reeves had 35. I mean, who else you was gonna play? You said you would have played who? Vanderbilt more?
Vincent, Vanderbilt, Godwin.
Vincent played 13. Godwin played 7. I mean, but then you look at it, bro. I mean, you really can't do that when you had
Vanderbilt.
Anthony Edwards played 44 minutes. Julius Randle played 43 minutes. Them cats in there, you got to have your dogs in there too.
But again, they played some other guys that gave them minutes that helped, like DiVincenzo and Naz Reid. You got to match that.
Yes. And I told you that was going to be the difference. Is that they had the more depth in their front court had more depth.
Yeah, I felt like
that was going to happen anyway.
And youth, length, and depth was going to be what got us. But dang, I mean, put some players in the ding dang game, brother. I don't want to hear all that. Like, they tired.
They was already tired.
But I'm like Bubba, man. JJ Redick, trash.
All right, man. We've gone over time, man. Let's wrap this thing up. We could be here all night.
Yeah, straight up.
We ain't gonna do it. Tune in next week. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll try to keep it shorter next time. Yeah, we're not done talking football either, and we still got more NBA playoffs. We doing this for the long haul, y'all.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
catch up with y'all next week. For more fans, facts, feelings.